My name is Kingsley Imufwa and I am your host. Welcome to episode 1 of The Source, a deep dive into James Michener's monumental novel about the land of Israel, the people who built it, and the civilizations buried beneath its soil. In 1964, deep in the excavation at Tell Makor, the archaeologists carefully brushed soil from a small, sharp object. It is a flint sickle, 4 razor-edged flints fitted into a bone handle to form an early harvesting tool. The dating is extraordinary. This object was shaped from limestone flints found at the seacoast cliffs in 9831 BCE and deposited at Makor only 20 years later. We are looking at something nearly 12,000 years old. But what can a flint sickle tell us about the people who made it? In Michener's hands, it tells us almost everything, because this first artifact unlocks not just a time period, but a turning point. The moment when human beings began to move from purely hunting and gathering to harvesting grain, settling near water, and, crucially, beginning to wonder why they were alive at all. The story Michener tells at level 15 centers on a bandy-legged, blue-eyed old hunter named He lives near the cave at the base of the rock that will one day become Tell Makor. The year is approximately 9834 BCE. Is at the end of his life. The community considers him elderly, and yet he is vital, joyful, and deeply connected to the world around him. He knows every animal path, every bee's flight pattern, every seasonal rhythm of the land. The landscape of Makor at this time consists of 3 elements that will recur throughout the entire novel. A spring of fresh water, the source itself. These 3 features will form the foundation of every civilization that is built on this site over the next 12,000 years. The cave will become a temple, the rock a fortress, and the spring the reason every empire will fight to control this place. Is what we might call a man of the land. He does not farm yet. He hunts, he gathers, he reads the natural world with precision. And he possesses something remarkable for his time. He is capable of wonder. He is capable of fear that goes beyond physical danger. He is beginning, in a very dim way, to experience what we might call spiritual consciousness. A pebble falls into the water and distorts his image, his face fragmenting and then reassembling on the water's surface. Something about this vision of self-dissolving and returning frightens him deeply. He does not have the language to explain it. He does not have a god to pray to. But in that moment, something in recognizes that there is a power beyond his understanding. This is Michener's portrait of the birth of religion, not from theology or scripture, but from wonder and terror. Does not build a temple. He does not write a prayer, but he erects a standing stone on the flat rock above the spring, a monolith. Not because any god has told him to, but because something inside him demands that the mystery be acknowledged. That stone, buried under 67 feet of accumulated history, will be found by the archaeologists at the very bottom of the Tell in 1964. It is the oldest thing at Makor, and it is an act of worship. It tells us that these people were beginning to harvest grain, that they were standing at the threshold of the Neolithic Revolution. The great transformation from nomadic hunter-gatherer life to settled agricultural community. This was perhaps the single most consequential change in human history. Farming meant permanence. Permanence meant ownership. Ownership meant conflict. And conflict meant the need for walls, weapons, and gods powerful enough to protect you from your neighbors. By the end of story, Makor is still just a cave, a spring, and a rock. But the monolith stands. The grain is being harvested. In Michener's framework, everything that follows, every wall, every temple, every war, every exile, is downstream from this moment. The source is not just the spring. The source is the first human act of looking up and asking, what am I? What is this? And what do I owe to the forces that made me? Back in 1964, as Dr. Cullinan holds the flint sickle, he and Tabari and Vered Barel consider what this object means. The novel uses these frame conversations brilliantly. The Catholic American, the Jewish Israeli, and the Arab Muslim each interpret the same ancient objects through different lenses. Cullinan sees the story of universal human religious impulse. Barel sees the ancestral roots of her people. Tabari sees a land that has always belonged to many and exclusively to none. This is the recurring gift of the source. It refuses to let history belong to one group alone. Tell Makor was home to nameless cave dwellers before the Canaanites arrived, before the Hebrews conquered it, before the Romans paved it, before the Crusaders fortified it, and before the modern state of Israel was established on its ruins. The flint sickle belongs to all of them, and to none of them specifically. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. See you in the next episode.